by Adams.
And a lot of white shirts were around that play as they read it.
George on fire here in the first half with 8.
You're up there watching and he's laying it in.
Nothing slithery about that. Just lightning quick hands from Jackson. But then it's smothered on the other end. Defensive Jim.
Because, you know, the offense is working. The defense is making things happen. And boy, look at this here. 3 white shirts.
Off the backboard. And Grant with the extra.
Mid-range, I like that for him. So, great execution.
5 straight games of 20 or more from T.J. Warren. Nicely done by Dennis Schroeder. Now Adams getting back. Here come the Thunder with numbers. Schroeder drops it off. George elevates and detonates here in Oklahoma.
And don't move until the shot actually hits the rim. And he might not think it doesn't mean much, but it really.
That's the way I'm going to play this. Unless it's a 3 like that. And again, you got to tip your hat. That's all you can do. Yes. I mean, that's.
I just want to win. I'm happy to come off the bench. Well, maybe happy is a strong word, but he was willing. He was willing. As George gets it, and he'll go to the line for a 3-point opportunity.
C champ right now. George tapped out. Adams. George drives. He's fouled. A chance at a 3-point play.
Oh, you picked up on that.
Oh yeah. Just didn't have time. George got fouled. Count it. Paul George for the possible 4-point. Knox. Hazonia got the loose ball, but it was knocked away by Ferguson. They hit ahead to Patterson. The lob. George. Oh, what a play.
Cauley Stein blocked and a jump ball. Cauley Stein with the rejection from the.
Durant blocked. Diallo swats Durant. Tried to go behind the back. It ends up in the hands of George.
You take it and you run. Jeremy Lamb, there's a turnover. Good pressure on the ball. Paul George waits, hesitates to the rim, and goes above the rim.
That's a good thing just for an easy look for the Nets. Some ball movement. They only got off 6 field goal attempts in the fourth prior to that.
Paul George soaring high.
A couple fouls are back in. Thunder stays down defensively. George gets behind the pack and soars for the flush.
Hard, too.
And now the steal. Thunder want to get out. Stepping into a 3 is George, and he buries it from the left wing. Paul George knocks it down.
That historical run.
George dances. Paul George lighting it up from the outside. As the Thunder inching closer up ahead. George soars and throws it down by PG-13. I'm a little surprised they're not putting anybody on the ball here. They're going to double team Dennis Schroeder, but they get it into Paul George. Has time to take a dribble, pulls up for 3 and knocks it down. Paul George at the buzzer from downtown. Halftime lead. Steven Adams was wide open on the inbounds pass. That's plenty of time to get it to Paul George. Even had time to take
shot. It ends up being Thunderball anyway, and a breakaway for George. And a stop!
How about that overtime game? 3 minutes left, down 2, and you go with a.
Here's George, puts it on the floor, gets past 2 guys, stuffs it on the freak.
Here in this quarter. Look at Paul George too, Mike.
Oh, beautiful pass, and George with the slam.
Execution, on-point delivery.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Well, it's easy to underappreciate the career of Wilt Chamberlain. It's not hard to appreciate Paul George as Westbrook has his triple.
There's a truck, and they make the call. George. Oh, my goodness. Paul George bouncing off of Isaac.
Unbelievable right here. What's Jonathan Isaac? There's the bump. Hands up. Goodness.
But around shot no good. George spins and floats it up and in.
And he's still in attack mode. I love that because you know he can shoot the 3. Kind of set Luka Doncic up, and watch out. Here we go.
George.
He's just everywhere right now, Steven Adams.
George gets the contact and the foul. Count the 3. Paul George going to go to the line for a possible 4-point
halftime. You're going in with a little bit of momentum with, but there it is right there.
Steven Adams is able to knock it free, sends it up,
Schroeder with the nice pass to George, who flushes it home.
As Harden fumbles it, lost it. Good defense from Steven Adams. George drives and finishes. This is what the Thunder do better than anybody in the league.
6% three-point shooter this year. Paul George working against Crabbe. And Paul George with the stare-down jumper, and boy, in a blink.
George. Tough step back three. Splashes home for Paul George. Much needed. His first three.
Paul George with a chance to tie for OKC. For the lead. Got it. And OKC is up by.
Fears left, and he had it taken away by Johnson. The Heat with numbers. George, the only one back, trying to affect the shot as he.
The glass for Steven Adams. You look at Steven Adams' numbers over the last 3 games, 20 and 10, being more aggressive, and this team can get steals and turn defense into offense.
Lobbed it up for Allen, never made it.
Oh, hold on. I said he was back. He just blocked that pass.
It's the same guy. Paul George.
See, you need a timeout.
College, actually didn't go to college, but had a reputation as a bit of a proficient shooter. George with the steal. On the run, whistle, block, and one. The league with
And he's a center.
He's a center. And George.
Miami has answered right back with 8 consecutive. As George takes the bump, that's going to count. On the follow, the continuation for Paul George. George fighting his way down the lane. It's going to drop in. And another and one possibility for Paul George.
Green to Leonard with Ibaka, Van Vliet, and Anunoby, and George takes it away from Leonard. And,
get a good 2-for-1 opportunity. Doesn't have to be a 3.
George over Leonard, yes! Oh, wow!
Game, 90 seconds gone by in the 4th. George feeds a cutting Noel. Oh, wow, does the splits. And somehow is still walking around with one shoot. Paul George hits a 3. George with 27, that's a 7-3.
In that space, you close out on him hard, it's going to be a problem.
George tracks it down after it right through his hands and splashes home that corner.
They keep moving it to avoid the foul.
Spread the floor. Correct. Do not let them foul. Oh, bad.
And he turns it over. Clarkson gave it away.
Pass.
George with an easy one. And OKC is only down.
Paul George on the drive and a foul on Bomb.
On the baseline now. Good defense by Paul George. Yeah, got the block. That's why he's one of the best.
Thunder have the toughest remaining schedule in the NBA. Deep attempt. Good for George. He's got 5 3.
And they make the call. George. Oh, my goodness. Paul George